Hello everybody, Bobby here, and today let's take a look at the Nightmare on Elm Street Deluxe Accessory Set from Neca Toys. So, I've already got this open, obviously, and wow, the thing with Neca, their boxes are awesome. Some of them, they're just the posters, but when they get creative and have their own custom art designs for their boxes is when I really enjoy looking at them. The best ones are their retro cloth figures. Now, I don't collect those, but the little art prints that are inside the packaging are absolutely great. I love them, and this is no exception. This is great. It shows everything you need to know. You got the worm, you got the TV Freddy, you got one of the signs. I guess on the other side they could have put another Elm Street sign, but it don't matter. But it shows you everything you need, everything you're going to get, and it's perfect. And really, if you have the Ultimate Dream Warriors Freddy and this, that's pretty much it. You pretty much have everything from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 that you need. Aside from, well, it'd be cool if they would ever come out with an Ultimate Dream Warriors characters like Kincaid, Nancy, Joey, or Kristen. Any of those characters would be cool. Yeah. But I just like the packaging. You know, you get the top. It's just Nightmare on Elm Street accessory set. Back shows you everything that you're gonna get. You get everything you need to see. You know, normal Elm Street sign, the Nightmare Elm Street sign, the TV, which has got two pictures, the two Worm Freddy pictures. That's cool. The back is just a bunch of legal stuff. Oh, my phone, yay. Alright, let's just get the box out of the way. I've already got it open. Going into detail with this guy, let's get into how tall he is. From base to head, if I can get this caught in there, I want to say it's up to about 12 inches almost. So about almost as big as two average 6-inch figures, which is pretty big. And getting into more detail, this guy is very weird looking. He's veiny. He's very, I won't say slimy looking, although he does look slimy. It is a worm after all. But the sculpt is just awesome. It's just great. You have like this, I want to say it's green viney goo dripping down, stretching all over him with this green, darker green liquid dripping down onto his head, into his body. You have his, I guess you would say vertebrae, or his spinal cord coming down from his head to all the way down to his body, and going into the head, the way the head looks. It's just great. The teeth are disgusting looking with all that brown paint. Well, I don't say brown, but more like a dark bone kind of dirty teeth look. And then all the glossiness is, the wet look doesn't make it any better. But the eyes look great. They're shiny and wet looking. There's his little gash he got in the movie from Nancy. You can see there. It would have been nice maybe to have a little bit of a glass shard in there. Maybe. Just give it some more detail. But it's not a big deal. Articulation-wise, like I said, well, I didn't say, but it could have been better for a $50 item. Yes, it comes with a couple more things, but you're primarily paying for this guy. And for $50, only having a ball joint in the neck, or in the head, which isn't bad, it goes up about that much, down about that much. It can tilt. It does what it needs to do. It's good. But for a $50 item, like I said, I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was when it came in. When I got this guy out of the box, I'm like, whoo-wee, this is a big thing. Granted, it should be this big, comparing it to, well, I don't know, the characters from the movie, which, I mean, if you watch Dream Warriors, then you would know what, character interacts with this version of Freddy. Kristen, and he has to be big enough to be able to at least fit half of her in his mouth, which is also something I do want to get out of the way. I might be wrong on this. I could be wrong, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this. When he had her in his mouth and Nancy runs by and stabs him, I thought I don't know, it's been years since I've seen the movie. This might make me want to go back and watch it. But I'm 40% sure I could have sworn she stabbed him in this area right here. But instead, Neca decided to use this area of the face to show the scar. Now, it could have been this side in the movie. It could have been. But the way I remember it is being on this side. I don't know. It's just a little bit of a nitpick. If it is true. Like I said, I haven't heard anybody talk about that. So I can't remember straight. And I might look into it down the road. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But if I'm correct, it's still not a big deal. Because this thing is pretty awesome looking. And yes, just to get out of the way, I won't say what it looks like. But it looks like something very wrong. And well, let's just say I've been given hell about it ever since I got the thing. Didn't help the way I took the picture when I showed this guy off. Shouldn't have took a picture of it next to my face. And the way my face was, that was a little my bad. But, But I do definitely like the base he comes with. Like I said, it's in the old Thompson house, Nancy's house. So, to be honest, if you're going by the first film, Nightmare 3, in my opinion, doesn't look too much like it from the inside. If you're going by the scene with the worm, it looks more like a mansion, in my opinion, but I don't know. It's just a weird movie. Nightmare on Elm Street is weird altogether, but the flooring base looks great, especially with the worm coming out. It looks perfect. It looks like it is coming out of the wall, as you can see. I mean, you can even see the flooring starting to bend and stick out, and floorboard pieces just flying everywhere on the base. It's just great. So getting into, we're just going to move the worm over here. We're going to push the camera back just a little bit. Alright, the worm's still in the shot. I think it's time we start talking about the signs. And the signs look pretty good, I guess. They're on 3 signs. So I'm not surprised we wouldn't have gotten these yet. They're perfect for your Freddy displays. Anything Freddy. You got the Freddys for about the 6-7 inch size. Definitely works. And if you got any little human characters, they go on the side. And if you don't even want nothing to do with Nightmare on Elm Street, excluding this one, you just want a standard street sign, I reckon it could still work. I mean, it's not like it couldn't work. It just so happens that the street they're on is Elm Street, which means they're probably gonna get killed. Just saying. And this one obviously is the more nightmarified version of the normal street sign. And the only thing I can say about this one is, I guess I don't know how accurate this is, because like I said, it's been years since I've seen any of the Nightmare films. I think the most recent one I've watched is Dream Warriors, so I can't really say I could place this from the movie, even though this set isn't strictly Nightmare 3, even though technically it is. I can't say that this Elm Street sign popped down in any of the movies. Now, I can remember a certain Elm Street sign that had Freddy's claw marks on it. I believe that was from the reboot, though, if I'm not mistaken. But this isn't, like I said, they look perfectly fine with Freddy. Freddy stands good with them. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. So, the last thing I want to talk about is the TV Freddy. Now, I didn't talk about this with the worm or the signs. I wanted to wait till we got to all 4 of the items. Obviously, you're going to have some assembly required. You're going to have to put the base and the worm Freddy together. You're going to have to put the base, these little tiny little disc bases, onto the signs, and I gotta say, you gotta be careful. Okay, when I was trying to get the worm Freddy on the base, I was scared to death because I was starting to hear cracking. It didn't crack, but it was starting to make those noises. So what I recommend is probably using a hairdryer for these, because the worst thing you can do is open them up and they're broken, trying to get them together. Now, this guy's simple. You just take the head and peg it in. Simple. The signs, however, the little pegs, you might want to warm up the little base discs before you do this, just because I was scared that the pegs were going to break trying to get them on. So, just some friendly advice. Now, this guy I really like. On here on the back, there's a tack hole where you can tack it to the wall. And obviously, when I had these guys on my display, I obviously found a tack to tack this guy on, but I had to tack him on higher than the worm, higher than the worm, because every time I would move something, his arms got in the way. And I like to pose him with his arms open wide, because I don't have another figure for him to hold, so he can hold it close to the TV before he's going to slam them inside the screen. But the arms, all the wiring effect and everything, it reminds me a lot of Terminator figures, the endoskeleton figure I reviewed. It has a striking reminder of that. Articulation is simple for this guy. His little antennas are on ball joints. You want to be careful with them, but little bunny ears, you can have them like that. You can have them like this, or however way you want to pose his antennas. I'm usually going to have them like that. His head technically can spin, but there's no point to that. It looks weird. I mean, I guess you could have it tilt like this, which I guess is fine. Now, his arms are a little bit different. They go all the way around. And I haven't seen anybody talk about this yet. There is a hint. The arms can go in and out. There is a joint in there that makes it go in and out. It's not really a ball joint. It does go all the way around. It goes in and out. But there is also an elbow joint that goes about that much, which isn't bad. And the hands obviously swivel. I actually thought that my finger right here broke because it was smaller than the rest. And I guess it didn't, because I was looking at the promotional pictures when I got this guy open. And I guess it wasn't. If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. It don't matter. So, like, I don't have broken NECA stuff already. But it just means my stuff's more unique than others, I guess is a good way to look at it. Now, the TV itself, excluding the Freddy stuff, looks pretty accurate to an old school TV. And for you kids at home who don't know, TVs weren't always flat. They were big boxed. And I grew up with these not this specific kind of TV, but I did grow up with the big boxed TVs. I had a lot of them as a kid. My dad had a freaking mountain of them. Don't ask me why. But we had this wooden TV box that this reminds me a lot of, with the knobs and with the VCR. I guess that's a VCR. I can't really tell. I think it is, though. At the screen, it's got that scratchy thing. I don't know what you call that. The hologram thing. But it makes it look like it's a static screen, which is nice. But looking into the arm areas, it's got that black paint that makes it look like it's been, well, that kind of like if there's like a short circuit and a fuse blows or something. It's got that black spark thing. I don't know what you call it. The cracking, the holes, the sculpt in the arms, and the TV are great. Freddy's head is a little weird looking, and that's fine. It's got like a metallic sheen to it, and, well, in the movie, he pokes his head through the TV, so it makes sense. I'm not complaining. The little antennas are on ball joints, and I didn't even expect that. That's going to be one piece. This thing is pretty much half of an action figure. Pretty much, it's just half of a Freddy Krueger figure without legs. It's just Freddy without legs. So you get a ginormous worm with a ball-jointed head, an articulated Freddy TV figure, and two signs for $55. So I wanted to compare this set with the other Nightmare on Elm Street accessory thing that I got from NECA Toys. The furnace. Obviously it works well with it. I mean, it's not strictly Nightmare 3 with this. Neither are the signs, but, you know, for your Freddy display, they all work together, and I just wanted to show it off and see what it looked like with these guys. Turn it on. Open it up just a little bit. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright. Well, I want to give the NECA Toys Nightmare on Elm Street accessory set 9 out of 10. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Bobby? Oh.